Hello everyone, welcome back to another one of John's never-ending list of random things to do. And for today's video, we will be working on a 10th generation Honda Civic hatchback. It will be a general guide on running power cables such as this one through the firewall. Now let's get started. Now the first thing you want to do is remove the negative battery terminal. With the 10mm this is possible. And remember, you're only loosening it, not removing the nut completely. Now that it's loose, remove the connection from the negative battery terminal and then move it aside somewhere, or place something non-conductive in between, like so. Now that the negative battery terminal is isolated, we can safely remove the positive battery terminal. With the 10mm, again, this is possible. Simply loosen the nut, don't remove it, and then just pull the terminal piece off. Since I have so many cables attached, I had to remove this one here to make my task easier. You might not have to remove this. Now you want to remove this plastic nut right here. Using a 10mm and holding the base, remove it completely. Next you want to loosen these two 10mm nuts right here. Remember to just loosen them and don't completely remove them. Now that it's loose, we can remove these J-hooks. Just pull it out like so. There. One more time. There we go. And now for the other side. Loosen it some more if you need it to. And then I found it easier to twist it counterclockwise so it just slides out. And now you can remove your battery bracket. I just wanted to note, since I have all these cables right here, the battery was a little bit challenging for me to remove. But if you don't have anything in the way, you could probably use this handle to your advantage. And this is how I had to remove my battery. Look how I struggled. I also pulled out the battery tray. I don't think you have to remove this, but I did anyway. Take note of this hook right here. You had to slide the battery tray forward and then pull it up. And this is the reason why you had to slide it forward to pull it up. And with the battery out of the way, look, this is the grommet you want to go through. I'm just gonna pull it out, you don't have to. But you want to cut it in this area using a razor blade or some type of cutter tool. Now you want to cut the hole appropriate for your wire size. Be very careful to not strike any wire or any part of your wire harness. It's probably easier to feed your wire from the inside out and then make it as long as you need it for your installation. So I'm just going to crawl underneath the steering wheel. And look, there's the hole. You're going to feed your wire through here. Now just for visual, I'll just poke my fingers through. Look. So I'm going to crawl underneath the steering wheel one more time, with light this time. So again, your wire is going to come along here. You're going to run it down here, all along this path right here, all along this path right here, and then somewhere to the back. And then to your amplifiers, of course. Let's do a review on the trim removals. Put your finger in here and then pull it up. Here at the driver's side kick panel, remove the weather strip first. And then place your finger somewhere in here and then pull. And then at the very top here, pull. This is the rear trim removal on the passenger side, but it's an identical process for the driver's side. Just put your finger underneath and then pull it up. Now remove the weather strip. Again, this is the footage for the passenger side. It's identical on the driver's side. Remove this seatbelt bolt right here. Now you can place your fingers in this area right here, and then pull it forward. Now I understand this isn't a power cable, but I'm just doing this for visual. You can feed your wire through here, and then pull the seat down. And then putting your hand down here, you can pull the cable up. Once you're done pulling the wire through, you can feed the rest of it through this crack right here, and it just goes right in. Don't forget to put this grommet back into its place if you took it out. And if you are worried about moisture entering the hole that you just created, you can seal it up using black RTV silicone. Just apply it around your cable and the hole and let it dry. So now it's time to reinstall the battery tray. But let's have a look down here. Note this here, this and this right here. On the bottom of the battery tray, we have the exact same thing that matches up. First, we're going to slide in the battery tray and see if it aligns up. And then we're going to pull it back. There, it locked in place. Next up is the battery. Now before you reinstall the battery, you want to route your wire where it's not in the way of the battery. Now reinsert the battery bracket. Remember, the longer side is on the further side of you. Remember how we took this out? We spun it counterclockwise. So to reinstall it, we're going to turn it clockwise. And there it goes, it's in. And now it's time to go over to the other side. This side was a little bit more challenging, and I was wondering why it wasn't going in. And then I tried something. I pushed the entire battery tray towards the firewall. And look at that, it just revealed the hole. So I'm just going to hook it in and then tighten it. Now you can start to tighten these 10mm nuts right here. Remember, not too tight to where it's crushing the battery, just enough to hold it. And let's give it a check. And that looks good. I'm just going to put this cable back into place since I removed it. And with this plastic nut here, you might have an idea of trying to tighten it with your hand or with the tool. No, all you need to do is simply press it down. Now lay your non-conductive material right here, and then work on your positive terminal. Slide it back into the positive post of the battery, and then tighten it down. Now that the positive terminal is connected, we can safely work on the negative terminal. So again, I'm just going to reconnect this wire here since I had to remove it, and then connect it to the negative post of the battery. Now slide it all the way down, and then tighten down the 10mm nut. Now the last time I tightened this with the ratchet, I made it too tight and I bent my T-bolt. So I'm just going to hand tighten this, and then check it. And that is good. So we're going to go over a few options that you could have done to route your wire. You could have gone from the grommet up this way and back to the positive terminal and have a fuse somewhere over here. Or you could have routed it around this way and back that way towards the grommet, and then a fuse somewhere in between. Now that the power cable is set, what about the ground cable? Okay, let's get a general idea of where it can be installed. First, you should take off the lower rear cargo cover. You can do so by taking out these two pieces right here. Let's start on this side. Using a pick, pick this piece open. Now using a Phillips screwdriver, remove this screw. And then pull it off. It'll be the same for the other side. Pull up this lever and using a pick, pick this piece open. Now remove the Phillips screw. And with that loose, pull it off. Now there's a clip under here, so grab in this area and then pull. Same on this side, grab here and then pull. Fold in the two flaps on the left and the right side, and then lift it up and pull it out. So here's option 1. You have one hole here and one hole here. Both of them are threaded, and both of them will accept 10mm bolts. All you have to do is sand one of these completely until it's bare metal, and then use it as your ground. For option 2, you can decide to drill a hole through the frame. You can drill a hole through this area right here. Sand it down to bare metal, and then put a bolt through from underneath. You can use the first nut to secure the bolt to the frame. The second nut can be used to secure the negative terminal to the bolt. This here would be option 3. If you peel off this piece right here, it will reveal a big bolt you can use. And there we go. This bolt right here can be removed. You can sand the surface down and use it as your ground. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it was helpful and you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed yet, maybe even consider subscribing. And I'm looking forward to see your builds in the comment below.